No one doubts that they weren't working hard, but their assessment was flawed, and they failed in that assessment. Has anyone been held accountable for giving the president a wrong view of how things were turning out on the ground?
We got another reporter here for our second segment doing the same exact thing, questioning John Kirby on this document that was released 10 minutes before this press briefing. Everybody's trying to scramble, get their questions in, just trying to figure out what the hell is going on here. They're all reading through the BS and listening to the BS from this man, and they're calling him out for it.
Fill in the back. I'll
Thank you.
something. Gotta go to the back.
That summer before the withdrawal, there was a dissent channel cable that was written by 23 State Department officials there at the Kabul embassy, warning that the administration, in their view, was not prepared at that moment for the withdrawal. I'm curious, did this review take that dissent cable into account?
You'll have to talk to the State Department. The State Department conducted an after-action review, and so did the DOD, and that's a question better put to them.
And then one specific.
Amazing, right? Amazing. I'll be up here as long as you need, Ed. I'll be up here as long as you guys want me to answer all your questions. You know where to find me. And literally, you have somebody sitting here giving you a freaking great question. You got to talk to somebody else. But hey, you know where to find me, and I'll be sure to reach out to you and give you the answers that you deserve, which I just got done mentioning when they did the same thing during the classified documents that were left everywhere around Joe Biden's home and everywhere else in the Biden-Pence Center. They did the exact same messaging of, hey, just contact us, talk to this person, talk to the White House counsel. The White House counsel will refer you to somebody else, and that person will refer you to somebody else, and you'll never get your questions answered. Same thing here. This is a cover-up, you guys.
Then for the president and this administration, I'm curious if there was a moment during the Afghanistan withdrawal that the president lost confidence in the assessments that were given to him by the intelligence community and lost confidence in the intelligence community itself, given that they failed to foresee how quickly the Taliban would advance and Kabul would fall.
The president knows how hard people work across the administration to try to give him the best information that they can. But it didn't stop him from asking. Throughout the entire withdrawal, he was constantly pulsing the national.
Hey, intelligence community really screwed up on this one, but didn't stop Joe from asking questions. I mean, the bar is so low for Joe Biden, it's insane. Well, it didn't stop the president from waking up and just looking at us and taking a big, deep breath because somebody told him to. He was there in the room with all of us. It makes me wonder if he was even the one that came up with these questions, or at some point somebody gave him a card to read in the room with the generals, with the intelligence community, whoever the hell was in there, just to tell him to read off of so that they could use it as ammo later on. Be like, well, he asked questions, you guys. He sat there and asked if he can have a break and nap time. He asked the questions. He got him in.
Security team about this or that assessment, and constantly challenging the thinking, constantly looking for ways to better understand what was going on the ground.
Laughable.
Some of the assessments that was produced, as I put in my opening statement, were proved out to be not correct. But
you think? They turned out not to be correct. A lot of them didn't. I mean, what was correct, which you'll see him say, well, this was correct, this was correct. He'll kind of spin it in some way, shape, or form later, but a lot of it was wrong. Who's being held accountable here? Trump is, supposedly. Again, this is Trump's fault if you're just tuning into us. Everything about the Afghanistan pullout, according to their assessment that they just gave everybody 10 minutes before the briefing, was all Donald Trump's fault. And we just got done listening to the answer about, hey, is Joe Biden going to take any sort of accountability for this or responsibility? Didn't even answer the question.
But, this was, an honest effort by everybody to try to get at the right outcome.
No one doubts that they weren't working hard, but their assessment was flawed, and they failed in that assessment. Has anyone been held accountable for giving the president a wrong view of how things were turning out on the ground?
I don't know how much intelligence.
Yes, Phil. God, that's why he's the gladiator, you guys. Yes, exactly. That's what everybody wants to know. Who's being fired for this? Where's the accountability? What's happening other than 12-page assessment or whatever that you're blaming Trump for?
You read or you get to look at every day, but let me tell you something. It's a mosaic. It's really hard. And I've yet to see an intelligence assessment that ever was 110% certain about something. They get paid to do the best they can, weaving in multiple sources of information, sometimes in real time, without even a lot of time to process. and they do the best they can. Do they always get it right? They'll be the first ones if they were up here to tell you they don't always get it right. And clearly we didn't get things right here with Afghanistan about how fast the Taliban were moving across the country. I don't think we fully anticipated the degree to which they were constructing these deals in the hinterlands that kind of fell like dominoes. We didn't anticipate how fast the Afghan National Security Forces were going to fold. We're not going to fight for their country, particularly after we had, as I said, dedicated 20 years, trained and equipped them. I don't think we had.
I'm sorry, but even I know as a dude that's in his closet, that's a bunch of baloney. I had friends that went to Afghanistan and Iraq. We all know the stories of them on how they surrender so easily. There's literally footage on YouTube. Back then it was live leak as well that you could find of just these guys just giving up. Everybody knew that they were weak. You're telling me the intelligence community and our Pentagon or Department of Defense was like, oh, we really thought that they would kind of like, stand up for a good while and use all the equipment that we gave them. We really thought that they would just kind of have that backbone, that American ingenuity that we instilled in them in 20 years of training.
Fully appreciated the degree of corruption that was in the officer ranks in the military. I could go on and on and on. But it doesn't mean that people weren't trying and doing their best effort to understand that. But intelligence, getting it right every single time, man, that's a tough hill to climb. Doesn't mean that they don't try.
Well, it doesn't mean they don't try. The question wasn't about trying. He literally emphasized it for you after. It wasn't about hard work. Nobody's discrediting that they didn't put in hard work. The question was, who's taking responsibility and accountability for this debacle? And who you blame it on? Donald Trump, because he's orange and he's bad and he's mean and you don't like him. I hope you enjoyed that clip from the Bald Brad Show. If you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all our future content.